Hey guys, what's going on? This is a video I really didn't want to have to make, but we learned from things, and this radio sold to a good guy named Sam, and when I sold it, it was working fine. When he got it, there were some problems, and I shot him a refund back and told him to send it back. And he said, you know, he actually made a video, and he said, you know, this is what it's doing. And what it's doing is, really, I'm not even going to put it on the CPS, I know what's wrong with it. But as you can see, the power light stays on. It's intermittent, but at the same time, every once in a while it'll come on. I know exactly what happened to it now. I believe he said that it started smelling, and you know that's when I told him. I just said, no, you know, there's something seriously wrong. You know, I'm real sorry about it, but you know, just send it back, because I can't have you dealing with, you know, a headache like that. So he did, and I got it back, and I was looking at it. Thank you for the packing job. Hell, you did a better job than I did when it comes to packing. But so what I did was, the minute I had this hooked up, I started smelling something burning. And what happened was, here, evidently it takes time for a resistor. I'm not sure what this is, and there are a few guys that I know watch these videos that actually know the electronic parts. I've got schematics, but I'm not exactly sure, and I really don't want to take the time to dick with it. But the housing's good. Housing works fine, the speaker works fine. So I'm going to probably just sell the housing. No, I'll probably sell the whole radio as parts, but I'm going to have to qualify it as a parts-only radio, and you know, list it as toasted radio. But what I did was, when I put this back on, I didn't have. This is the only thing I can gather, but it makes sense to me. I didn't have this fully engaged, and it was up a bit. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I just didn't have it engaged. First time for everything, but you know, one thing that I have learned is that, you know, if something goes wrong, use it as a learning experience, and you know, that's the best thing you can do. If you can learn from it, then you know, then it's not really that bad of a deal. So I took this off, I took that off. Let me go ahead. These pins are really hard to deal with. And I don't like using this plastic tool for this, but because it kind of isn't the best thing. But I took these pieces off, and I removed the board. Started looking at it. Didn't take long. Right there. Evidently, it took a little while for that thing to heat up. You know, I removed the encryption board, and when I put it together, I didn't, you know, I mean, it worked fine and transmitted and received. You've seen the video on that. But evidently it took a little bit of time for this to disintegrate through heat. And, you know, I was just dumbfounded when Sam mentioned that he was having problems with it. But at the same time, you know, I could kind of see that, you know, with electronics, things can happen. And I wasn't sure exactly how it happened, but when I took it out, these pieces ride. You can see there's little risers on here, brass risers. There you go. Now there are a lot of people who watch my videos that know a hell of a lot more about boards than I do. I've got no clue what that is. Yeah, it could be soldered. You know, I'm tempted to put a bullet through it. Just I've got a bit of a temper, and you know, I'm tempted just to put a bullet through it. But at the same time, you know, somebody who knows how to, I just don't think that's savable. I just don't. And maybe it is, but you know, I don't want to dick with it. It's a headache. But anyway, that was actually warm. You know, I took my finger and I just kind of moved it, and that thing just melted. So that is what the issue was. And you know, it'll be good target practice, or I'll you know, just put it back in the radio, take a picture of it, put it back in the radio, and sell it for parts, and you know, highlight the fact that this is burned, because evidently it took a while for that thing to heat up and cook, but it did, and you can see the damage that it did. So the board is pretty much toast, and on a 3000 I don't mind. You know, it wasn't that big of a loss, but at the same time it was a loss. And but it's never a loss when you actually learn something out of it. And you know, just be careful when you put those things back together. That, I think, was my mistake. I could be wrong. You know, this thing could be you know, another isolated issue that I don't know about. But I do know that when I had this on, it wasn't quite in the groove. And usually I'm really good about that. In fact, I always am. But damn, you know, this thing just, I don't know, it just didn't seat right. So, looks like the death of an XTS3000. Sam, I hope you get your 5000. I think you ought to go for a 5000. I think you'll like it. And but that right there is the culprit. It didn't take long to find. But you know, there are a few people who do watch videos that do know about boards, and you know, the pieces that go along with them. I do not know if anything else on the radio was damaged. I'm going to assume it's toast. You know, I'm just going to assume the whole damn thing is gone. You know, I don't know if that was affected, but I can smell, yeah, I can smell the bad smell of a burned piece of electronics. And I don't even think I'll sell this as parts. I may sell this as parts, the hardware, but you know, there's also more under this, and I don't get into what's under this. This is beyond my my knowledge base. But that is the problem. That's what happened. And you know, it was a good radio, but I made a mistake, and when I put it together, I just didn't have that tied in, and that was the result. So if anybody knows what that is, or how that could have happened, any other way, or exactly the way, you know, if they can connect what I saw and, you know, what I believe happened to have caused this, let me know, because I'm kind of curious. And, you know, I mean, if something goes wrong, then, you know, the best thing to do is learn from it. So, you know, if anybody knows about that, and I know that there are a few people who do, please leave a comment. But, yeah, I shot Sam back his money and return shipping. I don't want him to be out anything. And, you know, he's off and running for another radio, but it was a disappointment, and I don't like disappointing, you know, disappointing a guy like Sam, or really anybody. And, you know, it disappointed me. And I take things a little bit harder than some, because I just, you know, I know when people get excited about radios, and, you know, I get excited for them, and I don't like seeing shit like this happen. But, you know, this could become good target practice, and I might do that. But anyway, that is the death of an XTS3000. So, you know, I guess, you know, the only thing I can think of is an error that I made in the assembly and not getting this latch down. You know, I'm just putting it down as operator error. But if it was something else, and you guys know, and, you know, I know that there are a few guys who do work on radios that watch, please let me know. Take it easy, guys. Later on.